Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Taurus February 2019 horoscope forecast part 2 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing off is as far as February goes, Venus will be in Capricorn from February 3rd till the 28th, so the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this could be about doing something about getting money, spending money on Capricorn-related higher education. Of course, it could be something connected with accounting or dentistry, perhaps something with the government, politics, business. Also, this could be about valuing consistency, responsibility, and discipline in matters with in-laws and grandchildren, even higher education. It could be religion. Also about the enjoyment, perhaps of just being methodical and consistent in publishing, and other ninth house matters in general. If you are unattached to Taurus, you may connect with a Capricorn. It could be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. It could be a foreigner, someone you meet in another country. It could be somebody perhaps you meet at a religious congregation or college, university, traveling abroad. Anyway, next thing up is, as far as February goes, Mars will be in Aries from the 1st until the 14th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, this could be about perhaps having acrimonious, contentious situations. And it could be people in private, or these battles you keep to yourself. It could be connected with very easy provocation, since we're talking about Mars and Aries. This could be about putting a lot of angry type energy, perhaps in solitude and seclusion. It could be hitting a punching bag or box. It could be doing something, even some kind of a combative sport in the privacy, perhaps of your own home, or in solitude where you're by yourself, be practicing karate or what have you. Now, also, this could be about, in some cases, suppressed anger. Given that we're talking about the 12th house, you might have less vitality and energy during this time, Taurus. It might be also very, really, perhaps very, you could say, impulsive actions, perhaps, could be oneself undoing at this time. It could also be about really showing a lot of courageous energy, perhaps standing up for those that are less fortunate, or those that have difficulty in standing up for themselves. So anyway, next thing up. Mars will be in Taurus as far as February goes from the 14th until the 28th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, Taurus, well, you might find yourself to have more a surf fight and abundance of energy, more so than usual. Taurus generally does have a good amount of endurance and latent energy, but there will be likely more of that at this point in time. It could also be about manifest, perhaps, in taking action in connection with Taurus new beginnings. It could be starting some work, is that doing stockbroker work, something with financing, banking, pawnbroker work, something that could be Taurus related, even gardening, cultivation. And also too, you might find yourself even more sexual than usual, Taurus. And of course, this sexual energy is often very demonstrative, very sensual with Taurus. And you might also be a little bit more outspoken than usual, and there might be a little bit more more provoked, a little bit easier, more so than usual. But remember that Mars in Taurus energy is about really, it's about really becoming maybe provoked, maybe becoming angry or acrimonious or what have you, after prolonged baiting or provocation. But at the same time, given that this is the first house, this is the time where you might actually unleash it and let it out, and it could be very obvious to everyone, given that we're talking about first house energy. Now anyway, Well, the next thing up is this. Thing I want to say, well, next thing up is Jupiter will be in Sagittarius still. So the eighth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, I've talked about this previously, that Jupiter can be paradoxical, it can have a tendency to enlarge. And I mean, it's very benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. Now, in some cases, this could expand over optimism, recklessness, even foolhardy behavior, perhaps in connection in making a major change or transformation. Maybe you should guard against taking on too much at once, Taurus, if that's what you're trying to do. Or it might even be indicators of this kind of behavior from somebody that you're in an intimate or sexual relationship with, or in some shared resources situation. This could also be, in some cases, this could be very fortuitous for really people showing perhaps benevolence and moral and monetary support at this point in time, and really also too, this could also be about maybe doing something, getting that support to do something publishing. That could be Sagittarius related, such as publishing something connected with sports, religion, philosophy, translation. It could be something connected with foreign languages. Anyway, well, and also too, in some cases, and again, this I talked about the tendency to enlarge and expand. This could perhaps expand or enlarge some maybe propensity in some cases for some perhaps Sagittarius-like surgery, something connected with the sciatic nerve or liver or thigh. But a lot of this could be dependent, predicated on other aspects. This is making an if this is making inconjunct to the ascendant, that could still, in one's actual natal chart, this could increase that probability. Or if you have other indicators like progressions, for example, in progress chart, 8th house, anything, or if you have something like with me, I have Jupiter, even in your natal chart, I have Jupiter in conjunct my ascendant from the 6th house of health. And of course, Jupiter is connected with thighs and other Sagittarius-like body parts. So you understand what I'm saying. So anyway, next thing up, Saturn will still be in Capricorn, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, Taurus, you might still be dealing with some restrictions and limitations. Perhaps there might be some connected with publishing, or maybe in some matters with in-laws and grandchildren. It could be over people you may know at a religious congregation, or it could be some, or getting your post-high school education. This could also be, or maybe even traveling abroad. And in some cases, this could manifest perhaps in taking care of a debilitated or sickly in-law or grandchild. It could be something connected with the knees, the bones, or the joints, and maybe making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy. But it could also be about taking responsibility for maybe consistent publishing and doing things on a consistent, regimented level in 9th house matters such as higher education, and then again publishing matters with in-laws, grandchildren. Could be traveling abroad, traveling to different countries, anything, or even religion in some cases. So anyway, well, the next thing up, Uranus will be in Aries still, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Taurus still. So in some cases, this could be about Aries friendships. They could be Aries sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aries-like characteristics. Might figure prominently, perhaps more in your private life than usual, and in matters perhaps with your limitations and restrictions, and whether they're actually beneficial or to your detriment as far as that goes. A lot could be dependent on the aspects this makes to other points in your chart. I mean, if this makes, say, a good aspect to Jupiter, your natal Jupiter, for example, then they could be very auspicious, maybe for helping you with any kind of limitation or restriction, maybe going through. An adverse aspect to that, or even like Saturn, say, it could be something where it could be the opposite, and they might be adding insult to abject misery, so to speak, as far as that goes. And anyway, Could also be they might drive you figuratively crazy at this time as well, these friendships. Now, it could be too, and now where your sleeping habits might be somewhat sporadic at this time, Taurus, and erratic as well. There might be something going on with Uranus, like hidden adversaries. They could be people that are innovators or astrologers, people in astronomy, aerospace, computers, or electronics. It could be people on the internet pretending to be your friends and they're really not. And also too, in some cases too, this could be about really some unpredictable acrimonious outbursts that could lead to one's self-undoing and tied in with secret sorrows as well. Anyway, next thing up, Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now at this time, well, Pisces energy, sometimes, this could be about the dissipation and dissolving of friendships, and I'm going through this right now, people. I have Neptune transiting my 11th house in my natal chart, and I'm having friends dropping off like flies, inexplicably dissipating into thin air. They are coming and going, and that is just the way it is. And it might be, when I'm talking about disappearances, I don't mean necessarily, going, people just, literally disappearing, vanishing into thin air, but basically out of your sight and out of your world, so to speak. And you might be somewhat nebulous right now regarding your future, Taurus, and I sure am right now and have been for some time. And it might be, and also matters connected with your aspirations and goals may be nebulous as well. And also it might be about dealing with deception and duplicity from people that say that you're friends, and also guard against false prophets, fallacious prophets trying to lead you perhaps into maybe trying to convince you that your future is going to be great and this and that. I'm talking about people that you're trying to, that they're asking for money, like these phony psychics, for example. And also too, on a positive note though, Taurus, this could be about perhaps pursuing maybe some kind of Neptune goal or aspiration. It could be something connected with the metaphysical, which could include astrology, spirituality, photography, chemistry, dancing, poetry, and also being involved in some kind of Neptune-like group, like the things I just described before. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. Last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, in some cases, this could be, a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I'm going to anyway. This could manifest in some cases as an actual literal death of an in-law or a grandchild in some cases. This could be maybe doing some kind of covert government overseas work. If you're involved with the government, this could increase that propensity to do so. In some cases, this could be about maybe the actual obliteration or figurative death of a certain philosophy or religion. It could be about where you're making a transformation in some religion or philosophical outlook. But also guard against religious indoctrination or philosophical indoctrination, whether it's done by you, by somebody else. A lot of these chances can increase depending on aspects of it. Say if this is making an adverse aspect, say to your natal Mercury, your 3rd house cusp, it can increase those chances. Or even Neptune. Neptune could be succumbing maybe to some kind of an indoctrination where you're being really strongly deceived. It could be too where you might, in some cases, on a positive note, might pursue some kind of Pluto higher education course. It could be something like nuclear physics, or something connected with astrology, called supernatural, something one of the death fields, such as maybe pursuing learning about becoming a coroner or mortician, something that could be Pluto related. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Taurus February 2019 horoscope part 2 of 2. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Gemini February 2019 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Till next time, people, stay well.